Your first hobby-grade RC truck is sitting on the table, still in the box, and you already have a browser full of parts somebody swore you need before you even charge it. Almost none of that belongs on the list. What a beginner actually needs is short, a little boring, and it costs a fraction of what the hop-up wall wants from you. 5 things. Get these and you drive all weekend instead of standing around. Skip them and you puff your first lipo and strip your first gear inside the first week. And that is how a brand new RTR, your ready-to-run truck, ends up a shelf queen by month 2. Here is the part nobody selling you parts says out loud. The thing that ends most beginner RC car runs is not a slow truck. It is running out of battery, killing that battery, or snapping the one cheap part you did not keep a spare of. So this list is built around staying on the throttle, not going faster. Does not matter if you are a fresh basher who wants to send it in the backyard, or a parent who bought this for a kid and does not want it dead by Sunday. Same 5 things in the order you should buy them. Thing 1 is the truck, and the first mistake almost everybody makes is buying the fast one instead of the tough one. I get it. The brushless rig with the big top speed on the box looks like the obvious move. For your first truck, it is the wrong move. Brushless wants more setup, it runs hotter, and it puts more strain on a drivetrain a beginner is going to abuse anyway. A brushed motor is plug and play. You charge it, you drive it, nothing to program. That is what you want while you are still learning to not drive straight into a curb. There is one fork before the brand talk, and it traps parents the hardest. Toy grade versus hobby grade. The big box toy grade truck, the kind of thing you find next to the WL Toys or HSP stuff on the bottom shelf, looks like a deal at $50 or $60, and it is sealed shut. When it breaks, and it will, there are no parts, so it goes in the closet and the kit is done. A hobby grade truck costs more up front and is built to come apart. Every gear, arm, and drive shaft has a part number you can order. You are not buying a faster toy, you are buying a truck you can keep fixing for years. Everything else on this list only makes sense once you are hobby grade. The truck I point new bashers at is the Traxxas Rustler, said Traxxas Rustler, the brushed XL5 version, about $190. It is a 1/10 scale truck, 10 inches wide, which is the most common size in the hobby and the reason parts are everywhere. It comes complete, ready to run, with a Titan 12-turn 550 brushed motor, a waterproof XL5 ESC, your electronic speed control, the TQ radio, an 8.4-volt nickel metal hydride pack, and a 4-amp charger in the box. Stock, it does over 35 miles an hour, plenty fast enough to humble you. If you want to skip straight to 4-wheel drive and brushless and buy once, the step up is the Arrma Granite 3 SBLX, said Arrma Granite, around $320, though that one needs a battery and charger on top. Tamiya also makes solid beginner options if you lean toward kit building over bashing, and Team Associated has strong competition-oriented entry trucks if you think you want to race eventually. Here's the part the catalog never explains, and it matters more than the badge. The real reason a brand is beginner safe is whether you can get parts for it fast, because you will be ordering parts. Traxxas is its own independent shop down in McKinney, Texas, so its parts pipeline does not depend on anybody else. Arrma is owned by Horizon Hobby, the same company that owns Axial, said AKCUL, Lucy, said LOHC, and the Spectrum radios, said Spectrum. The quiet benefit there is that the Granite shares its platform with the Centon, said Centon, the Typhon, and the Vortex, so a spare arm or a drive shaft off one fits the others, and stock is everywhere. And if you ever catch the crawler bug, Horizon also makes the Axial SCX24, and the Traxxas TRX4 sits on the other side of that fence. Both good rabbit holes, but one thing at a time. Redcat, said Redcat, makes the cheapest real hobby-grade on-ramp if your budget is tighter. Buy the tough, complete brushed truck with parts on every shelf, not the fastest number on the box. One pack gets you maybe 5 to 8 minutes of hard driving, then you are standing around. Which brings up the thing that actually changes everything. Thing 2 is a second battery, and this is the real first upgrade, not the motor. Beginners get this backwards. They feel the truck slow down toward the end of a run, decide it needs more power, and shop for a hotter motor. The truck was not slow, it was dying. You ran out of time, not speed, and the fix is another pack, not more punch. A second pack means you drive one while the other charges, and the truck barely stops all day. A hot motor on a stock drivetrain just strips your gears faster and ends the day sooner. This is also where you graduate off the included nickel metal hydride pack onto a lithium polymer pack, and there is a real reason beyond runtime. A nickel metal hydride pack sags as it drains from 8.4 volts down towards 6 volts, so the truck gets noticeably slower the longer you go. A 2S LiPo 2S holds its voltage almost flat right to the cutoff, so it pulls as hard on the last lap as the first. For a 1/10 scale basher, you want a 2S pack, 7.4 volts, 3,000 to 5,000 milliamp hours, rated 40 to 60 C. That C number is the discharge rating, and 40 to 60 is the sweet spot. Do not get baited into a 100 C pack. On a basher, you will never touch it, and you paid extra for a number you cannot use. Do not jump to a 3S pack yet either. The higher voltage just adds heat, wear, and a control problem you do not need on day one. For specific brands, Gens Ace and ZE are the two most commonly recommended by experienced bashers for entry-level LiPo packs. Both have solid quality control at that 40 to 60 C range and show up fast from Amazon. CNHL is another reliable name if you see it at a better price. Now the trap that puffs more first LiPo batteries than anything else, and almost nobody warns you. A stock brushed ESC like that XL5 ship set up for the nickel metal hydride pack, which means its low voltage detection, the LVD, is switched off. Run a LiPo with the cutoff off, and you drain that pack past its floor. And that is exactly how a LiPo puffs up and dies. The fix costs nothing. With the speed control on, you hold the easy set button until you hear 2 beeps. The light turns green, and the LiPo cutoff is on. Check one thing first. The oldest XL5 units do not have the feature at all, so glance at yours before you trust it. Flip that switch and your second pack is the best money on this whole list. But a LiPo is only as safe as what you plug it into, which is the next thing. Thing 3 is a real charger, and the one in the box does not count. That little wall or USB charger is built to slow charge the nickel metal hydride pack and nothing else. It cannot balance the cells of a LiPo, and it cannot storage charge one, and both of those are how you keep a LiPo alive. What you want is a proper balance charger. The SkyRC IMAX B6 runs around $25 to $30 and holds its own against chargers that cost 3 times as much. One warning that matters, the IMAX B6 is the most cloned charger in the hobby, and a bad clone misreads your cell voltage, which kills the whole reason you bought it, so get it from a seller with a real name. If you want a cleaner screen and more wattage, the ISD TP-D60 60 watts. Charges 1S up to 4S over USB-C and is dead simple. And Toolkit RC makes a similarly well-regarded compact option if you see that come up in your search. The feature that earns its keep on any of these is storage mode, which parks a pack at about 3.8 volts a cell when it is going to sit more than a few days, and that one habit makes a LiPo last years instead of months. Because we are now on LiPo, this is the one corner of the hobby that can genuinely hurt you, so here are the rules, and they are not optional. Charge on the balanced charger and stay in the room. Never walk away from a charging pack.
Keep it in a lipo bag on something that will not burn, concrete, tile, or a metal tray. Never drain a pack below 3.0 volts per cell. That is the hard floor. The second a pack puffs up or takes a hard hit, it is done. You retire it and recycle it. You do not charge it again. Treat a lipo with respect, and it pays you back for years. Get lazy, and it is the one part on this truck that can start a fire. Quick gut check, because this is the halfway point. If you already grabbed a truck and you are not sure which pack or charger fits it, drop the model in the comments. Tell me what you run and how, and I will tell you exactly what to get so you do not waste a dime. I read them. You can also search your truck model over on RC Groups or the Reddit r/RCCars community. Both have pinned beginner threads that will answer a lot of the same questions.
Thing 4 is tools, and you need far fewer than the store wants to sell you. Skip the 70-piece case with the felt tray. You need a small set of metric hex drivers for the little socket head screws all over the truck. Sizes 1.5 to 2.5 and 3mm cover almost everything, plus a 5.5mm and a 7mm nut driver for the wheel and lock nuts. Add 1 small bottle of blue thread lock because the screws on your motor mount and suspension vibrate loose on a hard run, and a drop keeps them home. That is the kit. One thing, do not buy the cheapest no-name drivers because soft tips round off your screw heads and then you are drilling a stripped screw out of a fresh truck. A decent set is a few dollars more and lasts years. The first time you open the truck up with those drivers, it is going to be to replace a part, which is the last thing on the list. Thing 5 is spare parts, and you buy them before you break them, starting with the spur gear. New drivers love to over-tighten the slipper clutch because it feels like more grip equals more go. Then they set their gear mesh by feel. That combination shaves the teeth right off the plastic spur gear until it is round and slips. So the spur is the first thing most beginners kill, and it is one of the cheapest parts on the truck. Grab a spare spur and the matching pinion. Proline Racing makes upgraded versions once you are ready to go that route, but stock is fine to start, then a set of dog bones or drive shafts, then a suspension arm or two. Most brake parts run $8 to $25 and show up in a couple days from A-Main Hobbies or Amazon. Every model has 1 weak link the owners all know about, so spend 10 minutes on the forum for your truck, RC Groups, Reddit r/RCCars, or the ARMA forum if you went that route. Find the part that goes first and stock 2 of it. Buying ahead of the break is the habit that separates the people still driving a year later from the ones who quit waiting on a back-ordered part. While you have the truck open, here is the free move that stops you stripping that spur in the first place. Set your gear mesh with a strip of plain printer paper. Loosen the motor just enough to slide it. Slip a small strip of normal A4 paper between the pinion and the spur. Push the motor in so the pinion bites the paper. Snug the motor down, then pull the paper out. The gap it leaves is your mesh, a hair of clearance so the gears are not grinding tight and not loose enough to skip. Use regular printer paper, not thick cardstock and not thin receipt paper. The thickness is the point. And if you run a bigger MOD1 pinion, you double it to 2 sheets. One last thing on spares, because the hop-up wall will try to upsell you the second you go looking. Do not swap your plastic suspension arms for shiny aluminum ones to toughen the truck up. It does the opposite. That plastic arm is a fuse. It flexes, springs back, and when a hit is hard enough, it snaps cheap and saves everything bolted around it. Bolt aluminum in there and that give is gone, so the arm either bends and stays bent, throwing your geometry off, or it holds firm and rams the whole crash into the bulkhead, the part you really did not want to break. A plastic arm is about $12 when it lets go. The aluminum set is around $40, and then it breaks something pricier downstream. For a basher, stock plastic survives and it is cheaper. Buy the spare, not the bling. So that is the list. A tough brushed ready to run with parts you can actually get. A second pack so you keep driving. A real balance charger with a storage mode. A small handful of hex drivers and some thread lock. And a spare spur gear waiting in the drawer. That is what a beginner needs, and it is most of the way to nothing fancy. The driver who buys those 5 outruns the one who blew triple the money on a fast brushless rig and a wall of aluminum because that guy is home early on a dead pack with the stripped gear and no spare. Picture the two of them at sunset. One truck is still ripping circles in the driveway on pack number 2, the kid behind the radio grinning. The expensive one is sitting puffed and cracked on the bench, waiting on a part that has not shipped yet.